This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Hey, welcome on. It's First Alert Weather Breakdown starting at 10:47. I know we're a little, I wouldn't say little, we are late here into the stream, but welcome on. Hey, better late than never. I'm going to say so myself. First of all, thank you all for watching. For those of you who were watching the program before this, the Veterans Memorial there and everything they're doing to prep up their Memorial Celebration Week here next week and the following weekend as well after this coming weekend. But now we are on First Alert Weather Breakdown. We'll try to probably extend this episode a little bit past 11 as well. I know we typically end at 11, but yeah, we'll make up for lost time. That's what I'm trying to say. Because we got a lot to pack into still here into the day today. First of all, it is Halloween. Happy Halloween. But as part of KSLA News 12, we're definitely able to say that. Now, unfortunately, costumes aren't really, I don't know necessarily. I love them. I would love to wear them on air, but this is the best I got here for the day today. Just if you want to check out my actual Halloween costume, which I do have one, that'll be on my socials later tonight. But for now, you do get the Halloween tie at least. It's got some nice pumpkins on it. Also, just I do have Andrew Wellman, who literally is in costume across from me. We will be talking about the sports forecast here for the day today. So stay tuned for that. That will be exciting here all across First Alert with Breakdown. As I said, we got a lot going on. It's going to be so much fun here for the day today. All right, if I can find my supers here. There we go. Supers are what we call these. This is your rundown here for the day today. We got our Halloween forecast for you in store. We got our weekend forecast for you in store. We got our football forecast in store. And the football forecast in particular will be our exclusive content because it is still a Friday in fall. Again, that will be all with Andrew Wellman. As I said, he is in costume quite literally right behind this very camera that you're looking at right now, and I will share him on the other camera after one quick commercial break after full check at your local forecast here for you. All right, so let's get into it. Halloween forecast, weekend forecast, your local Arklatex forecast starts out the door right now, and it is beautiful. Cannot complain on the way out the door. If anything, if there's going to be any worry, any trembling fears here for the day today, so to speak, it's going to come for you in the temperature department. It started out really cold this morning, and thankfully, again, the sunshine is going to warm us up a good bit to help us be a lot more comfortable here for this afternoon. And in time here for tonight, temperatures might get a little chilly once the sun goes down. I think that's the only worry that we have, if anything, here for the day today. But nice, beautiful blue skies and sunshine maintain themselves to transform into nice, clear skies here for tonight, especially for those of you trick-or-treating out and around. How about that? All right, so as I said, I'm still getting everything together for, there we go. Beautiful. We got control of my graphics here. It's sometimes difficult to set up things a little quickly after a stream. It just happens. But anyways, live look at a window road camera into Texarkana. Also, beautiful sunshine there. Not a care in the world out into Texarkana, at least weather-wise. Temperatures, again, still cool out, certainly. 56 in Texarkana, 57 in Shreveport. One of some of the warmest spots are in East Texas, Marshall at 60, 61 in for Nacogdoches. 48, though, still in for DeQueen, 57. In Idaho. We had frost advisories this morning. That's now since expired. But the other reason I want to mention the frost advisories in effect for McCurtain County and Sevier County out earlier this morning was this is kind of 'tis the season. We're getting into the time frame of where you protect your people, you protect your pipes, protect your plants. 3 Ps. That's the simple rule anytime a frost advisory comes out. Now, this morning was the first one of the year. And let me say this now. I'm gonna go over specific temperatures for the future here in just a little bit. But watch out particularly on Sunday morning, because that is one of the mornings where we could get way down low. Just went along with the Halloween theme a little bit there. But anyways, highs today, 70 degrees in Texarkana. Again, we started out with morning lows in the upper 30s and lower 40s. Very chilly this morning, and this is impressive for our sunshine to help us out here for the day today. If you were, just to recap, if you remember 2 days ago, we had mornings in the lower 50s, and we only got into the upper 50s for highs 2 days ago. Now we're increasing our temperatures by a solid 30 degrees or so from the morning into the afternoon. 70 again in Texarkana, upper 60s across southwestern Arkansas, 70 in Carthage, 70 in Marshall, 70 in Longview, maybe getting up to 71 towards Nacogdoches and Center. Meanwhile, upper 60s across most of northwest Louisiana. If you're going up and down or just west of I-49, though, you are at 70 degrees, including Shreveport here for this afternoon. Overall, here are the highs over the next 5 days or so. It looks to cool down, yes, even more into the weekend. We actually do have a cold front coming through here for tomorrow. A baby one, though. It's definitely a baby one because, again, highs only go from 70 today down to 67 tomorrow. Then for early next week, you'll start to see a good, consistent, thorough, warm trend coming on through. By Tuesday, highs are up to 76, and we could warm up actually a good bit to where I wouldn't say it gets hot by any means next week in the first week of November, but it's certainly going to get a lot more warmer in the afternoon hours in for the second half of next week. All right, so here's our current look at our satellite picture here for you. High-pressure systems on top of us. This is what's keeping us nice and dry here throughout the day today. You see a couple storms trying to come off the Rockies off to our west, all associated with that little cold front that's coming on through and is associated with this low-pressure system. This is going to be diving down south and east to hit us here for the day tomorrow. But again, it's just a little cold front, giving us maybe a brief chance of storms and just the littlest bit of a cool down. And I want to stress out that this hits, again, tomorrow. I know the storms in the Rockies are on their way east, but let me rest assured you, especially from this future track, that you should be fine here for tonight. Again, right now, all the way throughout the afternoon hours, things are looking great, looking grand. Into trick-or-treating time, if anything, maybe a little bit of cloud cover in for the northern edge of the Arklatex. The rest of the region still hanging on to clear skies through 7 p.m. tonight. But all of us stay dry. That's the most important thing here for the night tonight. Don't have to worry about any rain gear to, keep your costume nice and dry, so to speak. All right. Anyways, into the late night hours we go. Well past trick-or-treating time. Midnight, into that kind of time frame. That's when the cloud cover starts to grow. And by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, it's going to look to be a cloudy start out to the day. That's going to block a good amount of sunlight. Some partly to mostly cloudy skies there for you. And if you notice, there's that little slim chance of rain. Yes, it is very tiny. Just 1, 2, 3 stray showers associated with the cloud cover coming on through essentially the middle of the day here for your Saturday. And then Saturday afternoon looks to feature a lot more sunshine leading into also a fully sunny day on for your Sunday. That's it. That's the cold front. This is essentially a big surge of cloud cover that's going to essentially roll through Saturday morning and Saturday midday before clearing up Saturday afternoon. And it might give us, again, the tiniest chance of a rain shower, but overall, I'm not expecting really anything, to be quite frank with you. All right, so let's get into some of our lifestyle forecasts. So pairing this all up together, again, we are dry here for the rest of today, including trick-or-treating time. But let's see how those temperatures interact as that sun goes down. So right before the sun goes down, temperatures should be in the upper 60s here in the peak of the afternoon. Then once it goes on down, right around the peak of trick-or-treating time here for tonight, right around 7 p.m. Temperatures are in the lower 60s then. So, again, these temperatures do fall off just a little bit, especially once the sun goes down, and fall off a lot more once we get into the later night hours, towards 9 p.m., 54 degrees. So, even with 62 degrees, still kind of in the prime of that trick-or-treat time frame, you still might want a light jacket. That's not entirely T-shirt and shorts weather here out the door. It might work well with your costume, I will say, especially if it's a long dress, some pants involved, lots of layers. Andrew's costume right behind me has layers to it as well. I will say temperatures in the lower 60s will be pleasant for that. But if you're not dressing up and your parents walking out the door, essentially, or grandparents, light jacket probably necessary, especially the later you get out, especially with temperatures, again, getting down to the 50s there towards the late night time frame. All right, so that's kind of pairing everything together. But, again, most importantly, it is dry tonight. Unlike Saturday, although I will say Saturday, it's just a little tiny chance of rain. It's a 10 to 20% chance of a brief shower or two. It's not even going to be hitting everywhere. If anything, I just think it's a big surge of cloud cover, again, for the morning hours mostly and for the midday hours. And I think we get a little bit of sunlight working in late into Saturday afternoon before Sunday will be sunny all day. Look at the highs, though. Highs maintained in the upper 60s. It will be cool for the weekend, especially with those morning lows starting off in the 40s. So watch out for that. Then for your full thorough 7-day forecast, again, that little tiny rain chance there for your Saturday is the only rain chance out of the entire 7-day forecast. Bone dry through Thursday of next week. I will say in our 12-day forecast, we are getting a few hints of maybe rain coming back either on Friday or Saturday. That would be of the following weekend, the second weekend of November, about essentially 8 to 9 days out. But we'll see. We'll keep you first alert about that. That'll be a problem for next week. As for the temperatures, again, getting a little cool for the weekend. After getting still up to 70 degrees today. And then next week, we warm up 73, 76, and then highs potentially reaching back up to near 80 degrees or just above 80 degrees by the time we get into the second half of next week. For those of you working outside, that's definitely T-shirt and shorts weather, certainly. And for the afternoon hours, and might even working a little sweat if you running around too much, and for the afternoon too. So, yeah, that kind of weather is going to be coming back here for the late half of next week. All right, so that was a little full look at your forecast. Again, any questions, YouTube, feel free to always join our stream then. And, yeah, we will always keep you first alert on any changes, obviously, on the forecast, especially on the First Alert weather breakdown. All right, so coming up next, we do have Andrew Wellman sitting in the chair against me. We will go over football forecasts, and we will go over kind of some football analyses, so to speak, of each of the games when it comes to high schools, when it comes to colleges, and when it comes to our two NFL teams, Cowboys and the Saints. Again, all that and more will be on after this. We'll see ya. Don't go anywhere. Hey, welcome on back to the First Alert with a Breakdown. For those of you who come to this a little more regularly, hey, I always say if I had to choose any other job in this newsroom besides being the meteorologist, I would easily pick sports. This is why it's one of the favorite podcasts we do per year. Not per year, but per week, especially in fall standards. Fridays in fall football forecast. And what better to do it with than with our own sports reporter here who is just, he's also working off the clock, and he is set up and ready to go in the Halloween spirit as well. What's up, Andrew Wellman? Welcome on.
Thank you for having me, Evan. It's Halloween, so, had to get dressed up. I'm Naruto today, so it's going to be a good day.
As I told everybody at the beginning of the stream, for those of you who have just popped on just recently, I will be dressed up as well here for tonight. Besides, I do have, again, my pumpkin tie at least, at the very least, here for during the streams, during the shows. But I will have my own separate separate costume tonight that you can look at on my social media page. Yes, it'll be nice. I will say as well, one last thing before we get into the forecast and each of the games. I know you're going out obviously in this attire here for tonight as well, so the weather will be pleasant for it.
Well, it sounds nice because that was my biggest worry as Halloween got closer. I was like, I knew this is what I was gonna do, but see, this is a jacket I own. It's a puffer. It's a little heavier.
It's a heavy jacket.
Yeah, it's a little chillier, so I actually feel pretty nice actually.
Yeah, that's really impressive for that. All right, I'm getting the game still set up here on my other stream, but I know Friday Night Football is coming up, though, so while I'm getting everything else ready on the side, you can tell us who you're covering here for tonight.
So we got some great games here today. Chris is going to be at our game of the week, which is going to be Loyola Prep at North DeSoto. That's going to be an extremely fun game. North DeSoto and Loyola Prep will have some of the best offenses, not in just the area, but in the state. So it's going to be really fun. It's probably going to be a track meet over there. If you see a high-scoring, like 50, 56 game, I wouldn't be surprised. So all the fans over there in North DeSoto are going to get a show tonight. Then for me, I'm going to be first getting Bird at Airline. That's a good matchup. Bird kind of runs a more old-school offense as they run the wing T and like the wishbone offense. While Airline's a little more modern and they have a lot of great athletes. One of their wide receivers, Kenny Darby, is actually committed to go to LSU. He's one of the best receivers in his class. He is electric to watch, so that's going to be really fun. Our Denver K is going to be covering our Texas football, and he's going to be over at Wascom. The Wildcats got their game tonight. It's Halloween, so I think it's going to be a little more fun, too, with all the crowds and people if they're getting out there. And a lot of fans are probably going to be in costume, so it's going to be some great atmospheres tonight.
Costumes, cheering. Oh, man, I can only imagine. It's going to be excited here for tonight. And I think also some pretty good weather for it on tap as well, might I add as well. So here's a look at your Friday night game of the week here. Or I should say just Friday night game forecast here for tonight. Kickoff starting off already a little chilly in the lower 60s, but especially because some of those games get in late there, especially towards like 10 p.m. Some of those games still end at 9, 10 p.m. Yeah, those temperatures will be down into the low 50s, maybe even upper 40s for a spare few you around the Arclitect. So it's jacket weather. Yeah, it's jacket weather or hefty costume weather.
So just have some layers.
Just have some layers to it, essentially. Yeah. So that's our Friday night football forecast, and obviously Andrew went over it thoroughly. Again, dry conditions as well. Calm winds, so none of that's going to be a factor at all. It's just a matter of bundling up here around the Arclitex. All right, going on into our next game. We're going into colleges around the Arclitex. Starting off with NSU. NSU's taking on McNeese State in Lake Charles. Here this coming Saturday, there'll be a 6 p.m. kickoff. Conditions looking nice and dry over there. Again, we have our tiny cold front coming on, maybe giving us a slim 10% rain chance at kickoff, but overall should be nice and dry through the game. Temperatures looking pretty optimal. Starting off in the mid-60s, but could get just a touch chilly in the upper 50s there for the end of the game. Andrew, what are you assessing here for this game, especially because NSU is coming off their Lamar loss last week?
So NSU has been kind of confusing for me. They've been a lot more competitive this year than they have been in the past couple of years.
That's good. That's momentum.
And when I covered their game against Lamar last week, they were actually up at one point.
Yeah.
And they took the lead in the third. They were very competitive, played great on defense, but it just seems that their biggest struggles are on offense. They have a lot of missed opportunities. They struggle to convert on third down. They fail to get points in the red zone, whether it be settling for missing field goals or just not being able to get it into the end zone. But they've been really competitive, even their games that they have lost. Like it looks much worse on the score than it has been. Like those first halves are really competitive. The problem is they just haven't been able to keep it together. Mm-hmm. Prairie View was a one-score game, I believe. I know they got blown out by Southern, and then I think Houston Christian was another close game.
Yeah.
I think they have another win or two in them. I'm just not sure if it's going to come this weekend.
McNeese is. Do you know much about McNeese? I think they've been okay.
They've been okay this year from what I've checked, but they're not world beaters. Yeah. So it's a little different than them taking on Lamar or Southeastern, who were both ranked teams at the time.
Yeah.
So I think they have a puncher's chance, and we'll see if the Demons can get another win.
Just a little drive down into Lake Charles, so it won't be too much of a. Well, it definitely a much of a drive for us, but locally speaking, it's still within the state.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at, essentially, here in the region. All right, so, again, that'll be 6 p.m. on Saturday down, in Lake Charles. And then you are going to this game, scrambling at home, back at home again, after being in Vegas last weekend. I still couldn't believe that. Okay, they won against Jackson State.
That was a thriller of a game.
But just real quick before we go into the actual game theatrics about that, temperatures lower 60s, upper 50s, maybe a slim chance of rain at kickoff, but overall it should be, for the most part, pretty good there during the game. Again, 2 p.m. kickoff taking on Alabama A&M. So, what's a preview of Alabama A&M? I haven't heard too much about them.
So, I know last week they lost to ASU, Alabama State. And Alabama State has one of the, that's not a bad loss for them. They have probably the best player in the SWAC right now in their quarterback body. He is amazing. Anytime you look at the SWAC standings, he is a top at passing yards, rushing yards.
Who are you talking about?
The quarterback over there at ASU.
Okay.
He's amazing. But let's talk. Grambling's actually coming off a really great win against Jackson. Jackson State was ranked, I believe, 11th or 12th in their matchup. Grambling pulls off the upset with a walk-off field goal. It was a thriller of a game where both teams kind of, especially towards the end, were going back and forth. And I do want to say we're still over here at KSLA, we're still sending our best wishes to Grambling quarterback Savian Tissett, who was injured in that game, suffered what looked to be a serious injury, and I know he's still recovering, so we're hoping him the best of that. I am curious what that quarterback situation is going to be. Ashton Fry has filled in before, and he looks pretty solid. He's not quite as a prolific passer as Savian. Savian is really surgical and can move the ball really well, but he's a little bit more of a running threat. So I am curious to see how this Grambling offense is kind of going to operate without Tissett under center.
Fair enough. Yeah, that'll be an intriguing game again. 2 p.m. on Saturday, taking on Alabama A&M. So we'll see how that goes here. And again, that will be intriguing for you because we will cover it on KSLA News 12. So we will have the direct footage from Andrew coming up then. But both those games are on Saturday. Now we go to a game that will actually be played tonight on the same nights as high school football. But Friday night, the lights are on Ruston. LA Tech is back at home. I'm not sure if this is I know they're running kind of out of home games here soon, something like that. I don't think this is their senior game, but I know their last game I just remember their last game was on a Tuesday night.
It was weird.
And I was like,
I believe it was Western Kentucky. Kentucky, and it was a tough loss.
Yeah, I heard it was a rough loss, but they're playing anyways tonight against Sam Houston, who I think is
they're not very good.
Yeah, they're not very good.
I think they have one or
chance.
2 wins, so it's this should be a good night for the Bulldogs. It's I believe their 100th homecoming game, which is kind of exciting for the fans out there. And for anyone who hasn't seen, they are rocking some special uniforms tonight. It is Halloween, and since it is homecoming, they are rocking some blackout uniforms that look gorgeous. They look great. And since they are playing Sam Houston State, the Bulldogs defense has looked amazing this year. They have had some lapses, but it is a great defensive unit. While the offense has struggled at times, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem tonight with Sam Houston State, who has kind of had a rough season. So if I'm a Bulldogs fan, I'm kind of penciling in a win tonight and just expecting a good time over there in Ruston.
Especially getting out and hopefully getting a win here for you there for tonight. Again, kickoff right around 7 p.m., and that should be beautiful here tonight. The only, I would say if there is a concern, first of all, no rain, but temperatures getting a little chilly, especially towards the end of the game, towards the lower 50s and upper 40s. So that's definitely jacket weather as the game goes along. It's like one of those things where you go there, and it's like, oh, I'm fine in T-shirt and pants, and then you go back to your car after the game, and it's just a little frigid in a way to some extent, essentially there. All right, we got we got 2 more college games still to go over. Some of our other kind of outskirt kind of colleges around the Arklatex. Stephen F. Austin over in Nacogdoches. They are at home this weekend taking on, I had to look this one up and make sure this is your UT Rio Grande Valley.
I want to talk about these guys.
You have some thoughts. You have some thoughts already.
The Vaqueros are UT Rio Grande Valley, and this is their first year in FCS play. And they are putting on a show. It has been a welcome for them.
First year in the FCS
This
with,
is their first
with teams against like Stephen. Oh wow.
Yes, and their offense is from anything I see, I've only got to see highlights from games. Every time I see one, it's like, they scored 50, 60 points. They're blowing teams out. So I'm actually going to be really interested in this game. We'll see if Stephen F. Offense can kind of slow down that offense, because from what we've seen, they have played very well this year. They've played a couple Division II and NAIA schools, but of course they're still getting wins at the FCS level. They beat a pretty good Prairie View team, and so they're kind of a fun story. Like, this is their first year in FCS, and they're doing really well.
It sounds like a cool matchup, honestly.
Yeah.
FCS down and over in Nacogdoches. Man, really cool, good showing from UT Rio Grande Valley. What did you say their mascot was?
They're the Vaqueros.
The Vaqueros?
The Vaqueros. It's in Spanish.
I understand that. That's intriguing, though.
Yeah.
That's an intriguing name, that's for certain. Weather-wise, temperatures lower 60s there to start off your game, and kind of similar to everything else, especially with those like late evening kickoff games where it's going to be like right at sunset when the kickoff starts, and then once the sun goes away, I mean, temperatures are in the lower 50s towards the end of the game there over in Nacogdoches. Again, that's at 6 p.m. Saturday. I'll have to keep that one circled and see how that goes for next week. That's for certain. All right, last college game we got is Arkansas. They're over in Fayetteville. They do have, I believe, a reasonable SEC matchup this weekend at home. They're taking on the Bulldogs of Mississippi State.
Yeah, that's okay. I thought you were going to say Georgia.
Not Georgia. I realized that as soon as I told you. Real quick, temperatures there starting off in the mid-50s. It'll be a little chilly even to start off the game, but to end the game, it's a 3 p.m. kickoff. Definitely once the sun gets down there, 43 degrees. Ooh. That's going to be pretty cool there towards the end of the game. But, yeah, Mississippi State taking on Arkansas, kind of two teams that are kind of mired in towards the bottom of the SEC, if I'm not mistaken.
I'd say they're both kind of like just average SEC teams is the best
Fair.
way to describe it. Kind of like last week we talked about them playing Auburn. It's like they're good because they're in the SEC, if that makes sense. Like, they'll most likely perform well in different conferences because of the amount of talent they have. But and I may like to make the joke to CJ and even to you. Your alma maters in the ACC,
yes,
CJ's in the Big Ten. Those are kind of the junior leagues. The SEC's, it just means more, and so these are kind of two middle-of-the-road teams. It'll still be a fun matchup. I have found myself watching a good amount of Arkansas. Their quarterback, I believe,
Taylor Green.
Yeah,
Taylor
he
Green.
is. Oh, he is such a fun player to watch. He is going to be such an intriguing prospect when the draft comes around, because there are definitely things that need to be fixed, but he makes 2 or 3 plays every game where you're just like, wow.
Gives his team a chance. I think they kept it close last week against Auburn, I believe.
Yeah, so if I was a fan, even just to watch for draft prospects, it's a fun watch. Mississippi State is okay this year, so just check it out. And if I had to guess, I'm gonna go.
They had some
Mississippi
close
State.
games. Mississippi State almost beat Texas last week.
Yeah, I'll say they look good against the Longhorns, so I would give the edge to the Bulldogs here today.
Fair. Oh, you're going to edge the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, last two teams we got our NFL teams around the Arklatex. Let's start off with the Cowboys. I know you know both these games. Cowboys are on Monday Night Football. They're not on Sunday. They're on Monday Night Football on ESPN, taking on the Arizona Cardinals in Arlington. I will say conditions, first of all. Like, I know, I understand they play in the Dome, but heading into the game, temperatures right around the lower 70s, and it will be clear. I mean, there's probably no better of a night that you could wish for. Over in Texas there. Wind's nice and calm as well. So the point is, no worries there. But as for the game itself, so there's intriguing viewpoints because both of these teams are kind of
struggling to stay afloat.
Yeah, struggling to stay afloat in some regard.
Yeah, so the Cowboys, their offense has been lights out this year.
Yes.
Dak Prescott is playing probably the best football he's played of his career. They brought in George Pickens, who, while I was never a fan of, has kind of changed his perspective among NFL fans across the league, because he has been a monster for the Cowboys alongside CeeDee Lamb. They might have the best duo in all of the NFL for wide receiver tandems, but the Cowboys defense can't stop a water leak.
I was gonna say, but the defense.
Yeah, it's been rough on that side of the ball. And then with the Cardinals, They've had some weird losses. Like earlier this year, they lost the Titans when they were up by 2 scores on some horrible mistakes.
I was gonna say, if you want to see a game, that was the Cardinals Titans game.
And Kyler Murray has missed some time this year. And typically, when you lose your starting quarterback, the offense looks worse. But with Jacoby Brissett under center, it kind of looks like he fits their system better. And there's actually been some rumblings this week that Murray might be out, or a quarterback for Arizona might be on the move, especially since the trade deadline's coming up. A lot of teams are still needy at that position, so I wouldn't be surprised if Murray or Brissett just don't suit up and one of them gets moved. But if I had to guess who's gonna win, I'm gonna give it to Dallas. The Arizona just seems to keep finding ways to lose games.
That's true.
While Dallas, their defense does struggle a lot, that offense can put up 45, 50 points. So as long as you can get ahead early, you don't got to worry about stopping anybody.
That's true. I think I'm starting in one of my fantasy leagues, Marvin Harrison Jr., just because they're playing the Cowboys defense.
See, I'm considering that too. I have him, and I'm thinking about it.
Just because of that Cowboys defense, it could be certainly a lot better. All right, let's get into the last forecast here for you. The New Orleans Saints, they're over in L.A., tame L.A. weather. We thankfully don't have any wildfire issues over there. We also don't have any rainy issues. They've also have a little bit of a rainy season, but thankfully none of those are coming into effect, or some of those weird conditions around there aren't coming into effect for this game at all. I know it's indoors, but plenty of sunshine and temperatures all in the low to mid 70s. That'll be an afternoon kickoff as the Saints again take on the Rams there in SoFi Stadium. Look, I know the Saints are struggling. The Rams are, let's just say, not.
Yeah,
they're kind of a wagon roaming through some of those teams. So what's the hope? Also, they turned to a new quarterback this week too.
So we got 2 teams on the opposite sides of the spectrum right now. The Saints are 1-7, projected to get the number 1 pick, and then we have the Rams, who are Super Bowl contenders. So we have kind of we might have a semi truck in versus a mosquito situation coming up this weekend. It's a good way to frame this. And the Saints have made a change at quarterback, like you mentioned. Spencer Rattler, who I felt overall, while he did struggle, performed fairly well at times, has been benched for rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck, who's actually older than Rattler. If you guys, a little surprising.
Yes, he is.
And
he's 26.
He's 26. He's older than I am. I understand why the Saints are making the move. You're not winning games. You need some type of injection of life into your team. I don't know if I would have done it this week. Also, because you are taking on the Rams, who their defense is great, and that defensive line, they make it hard on any offensive line unit.
Mm-hmm.
Their Saints front 5 have still struggled this year. They're still trying to find that cohesion,
especially on the offensive line.
Yeah. So when you have arguably the best defensive line in football coming into town, well, you're going to them actually, but your offensive line has struggled to slow people down, and nothing makes things easier for a rookie quarterback than having pressure all game. So we'll see if I think this kind of feels like a sink or swim game for Tyler Shuck, and we'll see if he swims. The offense has been atrocious the last couple weeks, so I'm not feeling especially inspired.
Yeah.
But for any Saints fans out there, the silver lining to this season is they lose out, we get the number 1 pick. Question is, this is not the best draft to have that, because you don't have any prospects like a Myles Garrett, a Calvin Johnson, or just a star quarterback waiting there for you. So not the best draft to get it, but it could be worse. You could be the Pelicans with no draft picks in the next year. So
it's a different story.
It's a different story, but
that's a different story. The Pelicans. At least the Saints have a win.
Yeah, it will get better eventually, Saints fans. Yeah, it's not gonna be a good weekend for them.
Oh man, rest in peace. Look, it's Halloween as well. I can say that too.
I'll say it will definitely be scary for the Saints on Sunday.
Yes. But anyways, I like your outfit. Thank you for coming on. Obviously during your time off, always to be with us. And good luck to you. First of all, Grambling tomorrow.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
That'll be cool. Fun time, nice and cool as well. You won't be wearing that attire outfit tomorrow.
Hopefully, it will not
but
be.
tonight you'll catch him on the live streams on KSLA. 4, 5, and 6. That's
4,
when they
5,
can
and
watch.
6. You'll see me.
Bam! I'll be there. You bet. Anyways, thank you for coming on, and thank you for watching First Alert with a Breakdown. I had a great fun time always here for the day today. Fridays and fall, fantastic. We'll do the same thing again next Friday. For this coming Monday, CJ will be your host on First Alert with a Breakdown. I believe I will be back on Wednesday. I think that's the schedule here for next week on the First Alert with a Breakdown. Anyway, same time, same place, but again on Monday for next work week. Hey, for the rest of today, stay spooky. Enjoy your Halloween. It's going to be fantastic here for the rest of today, and it should be a mostly fine weekend, just a little on the cool side of things, so to speak. But 'tis the season. It's November tomorrow. November. Anyways, have a great rest of your day. I've passed my time. It's 11:20 now on the First Alert with a Breakdown. Have a great rest of your day. Again, I won't see you on Monday, but CJ will see you on Monday on the First Alert with a Breakdown again. Same time, same place. Monday, be there. Be square. And most importantly, stay weather wear. Have a great rest of your day, and see you later. Woo. Bye.